The rain was pouring heavily that evening when a tiny voice broke through the storm. "Sir, my mom isn't waking up," the little girl whispered, her eyes wide with fear. The words hit him like a lightning strike, and for a moment, the CEO standing in his sleek, quiet office froze. He was used to solving big problems, making fast decisions, and controlling everything around him, but nothing could have prepared him for this. The fear in her voice, the trembling in her hands, it was raw, real, and utterly human. Without a second thought, he grabbed his coat and followed her through the rain-soaked streets, his mind racing. Who was this woman? What had happened to her? And why had this little girl come to him for help? Every step seemed heavier than the last. The city around them, a blur of lights and shadows. While the tension in the air kept building, he finally stopped at the doorstep of a small, dimly lit house. The little girl looked up at him, hope and desperation mixed in her gaze. "Take me to her," he said, his voice steady, but his heart pounding. Inside, a truth awaited that would change everything, but what would it be? The little girl led him through the narrow hallway, her tiny hand gripping as tightly, guiding him toward the room where her mother lay. The air smelled faintly of medicine and something else, something unsettling he couldn't place. He glanced down at the girl. Her name was Lily, she whispered softly, and her mother had been sick for weeks. But no one had expected this sudden collapse. As he entered the dimly lit room, he saw her mother lying motionless on the bed, her face pale against the blanket. Panic clawed at his chest, but he forced himself to stay calm. He had faced boardroom crises and financial disasters, but this was entirely different. It was personal, fragile, human. He knelt beside her, searching for any sign of life. But every second that passed made the silence heavier. Lily's small voice broke through again. "Please, she can't die." The desperation in her tone was raw, and it struck him harder than any business failure ever could. He realized he didn't know these people, yet in this moment, their fate rested in his hands. Every instinct screamed urgency, but the answers, the help, the truth, they were just out of reach. Outside, the storm raged on, mirroring the storm inside the room. As a secret waited to be uncovered that could change everything, he called out softly, trying to wake her, but there was no response. The silence was suffocating. Lily's small hand trembled in his, and he felt a surge of protectiveness he didn't expect. Who was he? A CEO used to running companies? To be thrown into a world of helplessness and raw human fear? Yet he couldn't step back, not now. As he looked around the room, he noticed small signs of struggle: a tipped-over chair, a glass half full on the bedside table, and a calendar marked with scribbled notes. Something about this didn't sit right. It wasn't just illness, there was more beneath the surface. A story Lily's mother hadn't told, or perhaps someone had kept hidden. Lily's voice quivered. "She was fine this morning. I don't know what happened." The fear in her eyes was mirrored by uncertainty in his own mind. He considered calling an ambulance, but part of him hesitated, wondering if there was more to uncover before the professionals arrived. Outside, the storm showed no sign of easing, as if the world itself had paused to witness what was unfolding inside that small house. Every heartbeat, every whispered plea, pulled him deeper into a situation that was far bigger than a single life, and he realized that the answers might not only change Lily's family, but could uncover secrets that no one expected. He checked her pulse again, feeling the faint thrum beneath his fingers, and a cold knot formed in his stomach. Every second felt stretched, as if time itself had slowed to watch what would happen next. Lily's small body pressed closer to his side, her whispered sobs piercing the tense silence. "Please don't let her go." Her words felt heavier than any boardroom pressure he had ever faced. The storm outside intensified, lightning flashing across the window, shadows dancing on the walls. The flickering light revealed a medicine bottle on the floor, labels worn and faded. Questions raced through his mind. Had she taken the wrong dosage? Was this something more sinister? Every clue seemed to raise more questions than answers. Leaving him caught between fear and determination, he glanced at Lily again. Her trust, so fragile and raw, weighed on him. He couldn't fail her, not when she had already lost so much. The mother's shallow breaths were irregular, a fragile thread keeping her tethered to life. The room felt smaller, the air heavier, and his own heartbeat thudded in his ears. Then, a sudden noise, something that didn't belong, echoed from the hallway. A creak, a whisper, a presence. His body tensed, instincts screaming that the danger was far from over. Whatever was coming, it was about to change everything. And in that moment, he knew the night was far from over. Before he could react to the noise, the bedroom door creaked open wider, revealing a figure standing in the shadows. The dim light caught just enough to see a tall man, drenched from the rain, his expression unreadable. Lily gasped, clutching his arm. Who is that?" she whispered, her voice trembling. The CEO felt a chill run down his spine. This was no ordinary intruder. There was a strange familiarity in the way the man hesitated, almost hesitant, almost. Knowing the man stepped forward slowly, and as he did, a crumpled envelope fell from his coat onto the floor. The CEO bent down to pick it up, heart racing. Inside were photographs and notes, fragments of Lily's mother's life that didn't add up. Names crossed out, letters marked with urgency, secrets hinting at something darker than simple illness. Suddenly, The small, quiet crisis of a mother collapsing transformed into a larger, tangled mystery that threatened to engulf them all. Lily's eyes were wide with fear, looking between the CEO and the stranger. He shouldn't be here, she stammered. But the CEO had no answers, only more questions. The storm outside mirrored the chaos inside, and in that instant, he realized that saving Lily's mother might also mean confronting secrets that could shatter everything he thought he knew. The tension was suffocating, and the night was far from over. The CEO's heart pounded as he held the envelope tightly, scanning the notes while the stranger stood silently in the corner. Lily's mother stirred slightly, a shallow breath breaking the suffocating quiet. Relief mixed with tension as he realized she was still alive, but the mystery of the envelope demanded answers. The stranger finally spoke, his voice low and urgent. She's been hiding something that could put her in danger if it ever got out. The CEO pieced together the fragments: the missed doses, the cryptic letters, the hidden names. Lily's mother had been protecting someone, shielding secrets that involved powerful people, and the sudden collapse was more than an accident, it was a warning. Acting quickly, he called for help, carefully explaining the situation. Paramedics arrived just in time, stabilizing her as he watched, feeling a mix of triumph and unease. Lily clung to her mother, tears of relief streaming down her face, and for a moment, it seemed like the nightmare had ended. But just as the storm began to ease, the stranger handed the CEO a small, sealed envelope. "You need to see this," he said. Trembling, he opened it to find a photograph, one that included Lily, her mother, and another face he recognized from his own life. Someone he trusted. The revelation hit him like a thunderclap. This story was far from over, and the secrets they uncovered tonight would ripple into tomorrow in ways none of them could have imagined. The morning sun finally broke through the storm clouds, casting a warm light across the room. Lily's mother was resting peacefully, a steady breath returning as the paramedics left, their quiet reassurance leaving the CEO with a sense of calm he hadn't felt in hours. Lily sat beside her mother, holding her hand tightly, her small face now bright with relief and gratitude. The fear that had consumed them through the night was slowly lifting, replaced by hope and trust. The CEO folded the mysterious photograph carefully, understanding that some secrets would remain, but the danger had passed for now. He realized that his role wasn't just about solving problems or making decisions, it was about being present, protecting those who couldn't protect themselves, and stepping into the unknown when courage was needed most. Lily's family wasn't just a chance encounter. It was a reminder of the power of compassion and action, even in the face of fear. As he prepared to leave, Lily ran up and hugged him tightly. "Thank you," she whispered, and he felt a warmth that no boardroom victory could ever match. Walking out into the sunlight, he knew that while the mysteries of life could be unpredictable, moments of human connection, trust, and bravery were what truly mattered. That night's storm had passed, but its lessons would stay forever.